Okay, so right now I'm just logging onto Facebook and connecting on into the group. Share into the group. That's the final thing, is to turn down the volume when we get in there, and then we're fine. So it's being live streamed, we've got that. In there and that. My face. And we are live. Let me just shut down here so I can see you. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to episode 4 of the Reframe What's Possible podcast. Today we have a visionary leader, educator, and parent empowerment coach. Hold on. Why did I not make it silent? Yeah. Okay. And we have, I'm going to start again, a visionary leader, educator, and parent empowerment coach, Melanie Hibbert. And she is the founder of Parenting the Genius Within. We're so blessed to have you here today. Thank you so much for coming and to share your message and your vision with us. Today's podcast is about...
Oh, thank you for asking.
Oh, it's such a pleasure. And we are here to create new paradigms, inspiring people to think about new ways of being and doing. We want to do this to have global impact, and not just for the collective, but on an individual level as well. So Melanie, can you tell us what the idea is behind Parenting the Genius Within?
Okay, so Parenting the Genius Within is basically sowing the seeds of success within ourselves as parents and within our children, equipping ourselves to be able to go forth and be, do, and have anything that we desire to have. And that starts with belief. Yeah, it starts with sowing that seeds of belief, that self-belief, building resilience, building confidence, building the belief within that you are capable, that everything within you is capable, that you're capable of achieving or doing whatever it is that you believe that you can dream about, that you can think about, that you can then go forth and do. So it's sowing those seeds of success within us as parents and within our children. My mission, my passion is to transform a generation to believe that they can be, do, and have anything that they set their mind to, that they desire, whatever that success is. Everybody's success is different. What your success is different to my success, but what is the same is the seeds to achieve it, the seeds to believe, to bring it into manifestation. So yeah, that's what Parenting the Genius Within is about. It's about transforming the generation of parents and children to believe that they can be, do, and have anything that they desire. And to be honest, I came on this journey, this passion kind of developed through my story and what it is that I went through. I am a teacher. I am a teacher. I've been a parent. I am a parent too. And when I started my teaching journey, it was challenging. And I know you know about this, being a teacher yourself. You understand the workload that you have, the need to be the best teacher that you can possibly be, to ensure that, do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you look at it and you think, well, I've got these children's future in my hands. Do you know what I mean? In that sense, I have to ensure that, they are attaining, they are achieving and reaching these milestones and things so that they are able to basically function in society. We've got, as educators, as teachers, we have these children's future in our hands. And if we are not careful and wise, we can determine a trajectory that they go on, whether that be a positive or a negative trajectory. And I'm sure that both you, as I have experienced in school, you know, negative input, negative beliefs being put upon me and those kind of things. And, you know, it's like, as a teacher, we need to be mindful of those type of seeds that we're sowing in within our children. Do you see what I mean? And I was consciously aware of that. So I knew that I wanted to be the best teacher that I could be, to ensure that I guided these children in a positive direction. I nearly said the right direction, but everybody's right is different. So it's in a positive direction. But I think back then when I started, I did believe it to be the right direction, because I wasn't consciously aware of the higher level conscious at that time. Do you see what I mean? I just knew that I wanted to be the best teacher that I could be for these children. And, you know, that's hard work. That's hard work, both as a Black female, both in the school system, both trying to deal with all of the red tape and the workload and all of that kind of thing. And I also had a young baby. I had a 1 year, because I started my teaching journey when she was 1. Yeah, she's about to be 21 now.
Wow.
Yeah, so when she was 1. So I was juggling, and also at that age had just become a single parent too. Yeah, so I was juggling all of that, single parent as a with a 1-year-old baby, transitioning into a new career, having come to this point where I was just like feeling that the work I was doing and where I was just not conducive for me and my daughter, for me and what would edify her and be able to allow me to raise her the way that I wanted to. I was in theatre, stage production, news, newspaper, that kind of stuff. And I'd had quite a journey through that as well, to the point where I was like, you know what? This is not for me and my baby. Yeah, this is not, I need to do something that edifies me and edifies my child, kind of thing. So I moved into teaching in that way. And so that's why I knew even from that point, it was like, I wanted to edify me and my child. So I want to edify these children. I want to raise them, you know, move them in the direction that's positive, that gives them that kind of thing. But it was hard. The stress levels was real. The anxiety was real. Do you know what I mean? And I thought there's just got to be a better way. I need to be in a place where I can not only show up positively for myself, but show up positively for these children that I'm attempting to educate, and show up positively for my own child at home, you know. So that's when I began my kind of like self-development journey. Do you know what I mean? That's when I started really thinking there has to be a better way for this. There has to be a way that I can find a balance and still have the effect and impact that I want, you know, that I want to create with these children, and I want to that kind of thing. So in doing that, I started learning different practices and different things like the mindfulness practices, getting in touch with oneself, the meditation, the visualization, the seeds of success, basically. And, you know, and the thing is, it's like I was doing this in front of my children. And I believe that that's what was fortunate for me, you know, was that I was doing it in front of my children in the class. And I was like, damn, if I knew these things when I was their age, how different would my life have been? Yeah, that journey that I went through in theatre, in dance. I used to love dancing, and I did dancing right through, you know, from secondary school, primary school into secondary school. I went to college to do it. When I was as an to do it as my A level, that's the career that I wanted. Whilst at college, my confidence, I was always a heavy girl, a big girl. My confidence got torn to pieces by the things that the tutors and so forth were saying to me, and that kind of thing in this dancing arena and so forth and what have you. And then I went backstage and all of this kind of thing. I still got an A in my dance A level, do you know what I mean? So no matter what they said, I still managed to achieve the A, but it was an onslaught on my psyche, on my confidence, on my self-esteem, on and everything. Do you see what I mean? So I think by the time my daughter came, I was like, nah, brethren, that not gonna work. Do you know what I mean? It's not gonna work. And stuff. So that's kind of what, and so when I was learning these self-development things in front of my children, I knew the realization that kind of hit me was like, you know what? That experience would have been completely different. Why? Not because of them, but because of me, because of my outlook, because of how I felt about myself, my abilities, my faith in myself, my confidence, you know what I mean? That would have been, because, you know, how we look at the world is what's reflected back to us. Do you see what I mean? And that sort of thing. So I knew that as much as nothing would have changed, everything would have changed, because my outlook, the way that I looked at it, would have been completely different. My resolve would have been completely different. And that's where the passion kind of began to develop, to say, nah, these children need to know these things. They need to know, they need to understand. It's not just about the ABCs and that kind of education. It's not the seeds of success. What's actually going to carry you through into life are these elements, yeah, because this is what life is going to be bringing at you all the time. And we need to have the resilience, the wherewithal, the understanding of ourselves, our own belief on how to overcome, how to push through, how to find our way, how not to get beaten down, how not to have, you know, our fears of rejection, or fears of criticism, or fears, or any of those type of fears come in our way and feel like they are real. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I really began to, and so I wrote a book.
Okay.
For the children. I wrote a book called Empowering Children to Discover Their Genius. And then I kind of like I started teaching it to the children in my class. I started to teach it to their parents and stuff. And, you know, it had an impact. It really had an impact. It made a difference and stuff. And it was like, yeah, you know what? This is it. This is the one. And my daughter, bless her, do you know what I mean? She was, when I was writing the book, she was the person that I did all the activities on. And I was like, how do you feel? What it is? Tell me your thoughts. What are you thinking? Do you know what I mean? And you know, so she experienced, so I sowed those seeds into her. You know, I was also, she's 20 now. She's at her next birthday. So I'm just at the time when I was writing the book, so I wrote the book in 2011. So she was born 2001, so she was 9.
Wow.
Yeah, but she'd seen the journey. So we started the journey when we were she was probably about 5. Do you know what I mean? 5, yeah. I started talking because I was very much conscious, you know, about certain things. So even little things, I was like, I don't care what it is that you do, babes, and work-wise. I goes, you know, you could be a cleaner, but just make sure you own the company. You know, make sure that you see what I mean? Those little sort of things, like to. Yeah, aim high, baby. Always aim high. Yeah, you may not hit that aim, yeah, but you'll be coming close to it. As opposed to if you aim low and then hit lower than that. So certain little things, I started to plant those kind of seeds, and then as I got more into the self-development, more understanding what those exact success seeds were, you know, put that into a kind of like a program. So with the book that I wrote, it was like 6 steps to empower children to discover their genius, to open their minds in the world to the possibilities of what can be, you know what I mean? And one of the phrases that I would say to them is like, you know, if you can do it, if I think I can, if you think you can, you know, I can do it if I think I can. You know, you just start to believe in the thoughts that you were having, because your thoughts create the feelings, and your feelings then create the actions, and then your actions then create the results, you know? So if you're having crap thoughts, if you're doubting yourself, if you're thinking that you're less than and all of that kind of thing, that's going to have a ripple effect to create the outcome that you have, you know? So it was planting them seeds. That's what I want to do. But also it's doing that within us as parents. And I think what's beautiful about the parenting, the genius part, is that we treat ourselves, when we're thinking about it within ourselves, it's like we're treating our inner child, we're dealing with our inner child, we're parenting that inner child, we're parenting that genius out of us as we are with our children, kind of thing. So it kind of just came together because we can't plant those seeds without doing it for ourselves. I don't think we're no longer in a place where we're able to say to our children, do as I say and not as I do. You know, that don't work. That doesn't work.
It wouldn't work anyway, because even if you were teaching the child to communicate their needs and their desires, or to identify how they felt, or to, you know, use critical thinking or whatever it is, or even to start using affirmations, if at home they were being told, if they were being given different messages without the parent actually taking on board the process themselves, it wouldn't work. The child would still be absorbing the negative belief patterns.
And that was exactly. Yes, and that was exactly a lot of the issue that I was finding whilst in the school system and trying to do it in my classrooms. Yet without, when you haven't got the parents on board, the work that you do in classroom, it gets uprooted at home. Yeah, it gets uprooted at home. You have to be on the same page. You have to be working together, both as teacher, child, and parent, as that together.
100% agree.
100%.
Yeah, I was building a culture in a very small school as well, and I realized that the culture that I was creating, which was very much like yours, it was not using meditation and visualization, but it was building a culture of personal leadership and resilience and higher order thinking and all of these things, and to be to have like personal power, basically, to have like higher, be able to communicate your needs. And what I found was the staff didn't have the skills, the emotional intelligence. So I was building emotional intelligence in the classroom and creating a curriculum with the culture, but the staff didn't have it. So it wasn't just an issue with going home and that being uprooted. And that's when I was like, hey, I also want to build with parents, but it was the teachers. And so it's like, how do you change the system? But talk more, tell us all.
Well, so in terms of like, so what I would say is just like, so I'm currently in Jamaica now, but I've been here coming up a year. Before I left, I was working in a school, a special educational school, special educational school, social and emotional, mental health, autistic and so forth, children on various parts of the scale and so forth. Now, because they were a special educational school, I think the head teacher was more open to different modalities to help empower these children. So she was very much aligned with bringing mindfulness and these type of success seeds, planting them into, very much aware that these children need more than your mainstream education, more than the, okay, let's just see what qualification we can try and get them through, in terms of functional skills and all of that. She was very much aware that they needed more than that. So contracted me in to come in and start working with the whole ethos, the whole thing. So it began with, so I ended up embedding mindfulness practices and success seeds within the school, within the curriculum, within the community, within that kind of element. So it started with literally first introducing the work to the children, speaking to the children, getting that kind of thing, then doing some staff training, bringing them in, beginning their practices, not forcing it upon them, in that sense, because I would lead the classes in them. They would be in the room leading and taking that kind of thing. Then they would have their own class as well, in that those that wanted to go deeper and further, wanted to think, would then come to different things, different sessions and that kind of stuff. And then I did parent workshops and things and got them to come in and get involved in that kind of stuff. And then I gave activities for the parent and child to do at home together and stuff. And sometimes the child, was so much into it, they would drag in the parents, say, come, Mum, I need you to learn this so that we can do this, do you know what I mean? And stuff. So I built and installed a whole ethos of it. Now it's for them to maintain that, because that's the work. No matter how much we sow seeds and put these things into place, it then comes to the individual to do the work, to continue the work of building that belief within themselves, continuing, do you know what I mean? It's like we can give them the tools. It's now for the individual to continue to use the tools, to continue to, do you know what I mean? To continue to, because it's a daily work. Yeah, it's a daily work. Very much like the comment that I saw in your last podcast, where she said it was like a daily shower of the mind. That's what it is. That's what it is. That reinforcing and reconfirming and I'm sure there's a biblical phrase that relates to that,
or cultivate,
in terms of the renewing of the mind on a daily basis.
Yes,
something along those kinds. Do you know what I mean? It's that I think it's something like that. I'm not very much biblical.
Can I add something there? When I designed the school with my own philosophy and ethos as well, which was to empower students, but not on the same level, because at that point I didn't have meditation and all of these things, but I was doing other things. But the phrase that I was coming up with was learn, commit, do. And so it's, you learn the knowledge, you commit to the daily practice, and it becomes you. You do it. It becomes
everything
you're saying.
And that is on the same lines, isn't it? It's like it draws on the same powers, and this is the beauty about it as well. It's like when you get to that awakening, that realization, you kind of think, I was doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Just didn't know that that's what it was called. Do you know what I mean? A lot of it became, was quite innate in the actions that you're doing or what you're thinking, but you just never had the name for it in that, because you wasn't thinking of it in terms of personal development or alignment or following your inner bliss or aligning to inner source. You weren't thinking of it like that. You just was naturally drawn to, okay, this is what I want to create. This is the kind of feeling that I want to get. This is the way I would like, us to interact within the school community. This is what I'd like our children to feel as they're moving forward, but you didn't recognize that those was the terminology was, connecting to your inner source, finding your inner alignment. You know what I mean? I didn't know it at that time, but as I started learning these things, I was like, oh, I do that. I do that. I do that. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. It's like, so yeah.
Good. Okay. So children's brains between the ages of 0 and 7 are like sponges. They're absorbing everything around them. What advice would you give to parents of children between the ages of 0 and 7 at that critical time to really start sowing the seeds of success?
Well, I would say the first thing is like you said, our children's beliefs are formed at that age. Yeah, we're beginning to believe, picking up on what it is. And right now in this time where there's so much fear in the atmosphere, so much fear that people can be tapping into, we have to be mindful that our children's beliefs, that this, especially those at this age right now, what it is that they're taking in terms of the world around them and that kind of thing. So we have to be even more so on that positive outlook, that positive recognizing that the power is within them. So in that particular thing, I'd say we need to look at the language that we use, what we use for ourselves, because at that age, our children feed off of us. They feed off of our energy. They feed off of our actions, whether we consciously know it or not. They're picking up on that. So how we're interacting, how we are responding and handling situations, whether it's difficult situations or not, what our go-to disposition is. Do you see what I mean? They pick up on all of those sort of things. So we need to be even more so mindful in this particular time where we're in this fear consciousness that's around us, to not tap into that and to not feed that into our children.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
What advice would you give to someone to unlock or unplug from the fear? For me, I would say stop watching the news. Like turn off.
Turn it off. Yeah, turn it off.
Stop buying into things that. So cultivating an environment which is yours. You're curating it. The kind of things you listen to, the energy of the music.
Absolutely.
But what else would you say as well?
I think those are the fundamentals, because we're at home. We're in a force right now. I'm on a no movement day, so I'm not allowed to leave the yard in that particular instance. You see what I mean? So we're on a no movement day out here, kind of thing. And I think we get freedom tomorrow for a few days. We're free tomorrow when until curfew time, which is 7 p.m. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. So all of those sort of things. Now we could look at that and go, and get stressed of that kind of thing, what have you, or we can decide to focus on something else, focus on things that are going to raise our energy, focus on things that bring joy and fun into ourselves. So for your young child now, play some games, do something, do something that is fun, that inspires them, even in work time. Do you know what I mean? And stuff. You can change up the vibration or the energy of the room, both for yourself and for your child. So like you said, play some music, do some fun learning, that kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Show them that, and instead of saying things like, oh, that you're so good, but to highlight the skills that they've used to accomplish it, point those things out. Look how you managed to do this and this, and build their self-esteem and confidence. Do you know what I mean? You worked out that this and this comes together, and this is the journey, as opposed to just well done. done, you know, highlight the things that and builds their resilience, highlight the steps that they took to get there.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Praise that element, praise the thought processes that they used to work things out. Do you know what I mean? Praise those kinds of things and stuff, as opposed to the end result. So whether it's a good or not quite how they wanted it, praise the steps that they took. And now, okay, let's go back and see how we can adjust that to get the outcome we come. That's how you build resilience. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's how you build certain things, you know. Think about the languages that you're using. Do you know what I mean? So when they say, I can't do it, you reframe that to, I can't do it yet. But I will find a way. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? In that kind of thing. So, you know, we eventually want to remove that word can't from our vocabulary. Do you see what I mean? And rephrasing things in a different, so it opens their minds to the questions and the curiosity. It's like, okay, so I wasn't able to do it that way. So what if I was to try this way? Or what is this bit kind of thing? You know, so it's not like, oh, jab. They're not in this cantism, what I call cantism culture or mindset. Do you know what I mean? Everything's I can't. Do you know? And no one really expects me to anyway. So yeah. So we're shifting that energy, and a lot is just to do with the words that we express, the words that we show them, and the actions that we do for ourselves.
No, that's amazing. Such good advice about really clear, specific praise, praising the process. And it's also about creating that culture. So this is a cultural shift. It's a paradigm shift that the parent has to go on. It's a journey. Yeah. It's something that it may have come natural, but we also honed it as skills as teachers. So through that metacognitive process, through the instilling of curiosity and creating space for children to learn from the mistakes and understand.
But that's how their brain grows.
Right. But parents don't always have that. So that's what.
Yeah, so they need to understand that, you know, our biggest growth occurs through failure. It's called failing forward. Do you know what I mean? It's like your biggest, if your child was, or if we were achieving everything each time straight off with no hiccups or anything, our brain is not growing. It's not stretching. It's not finding new solutions to overcome different things. It's staying the same status quo. It's not doing anything, you know. But when there's a challenge, that extra little bit of challenge and stuff, a friend of mine parent coached it as well, and she speaks about how that in terms of progress and the kind of, if you was to put a number to the progress and that kind of thing, it's like the average comfortable level of progress, which is pushing someone, is like 70%. Yeah. And the way that she kind of describes it, so if you was throwing balls into a bucket from a distance, and if you was throwing those balls and you got 2 out of 10 every time you did it, you would soon get frustrated and get annoyed and just like, it's too hard, it's too thinking, what have you. But if you was and you'd want to move closer to the bucket. But if you was getting to that point of you was getting 6 or 7 out of 10, you know, that means you're honing that skill and you're getting to that element. Now, if you was getting 9 out of 10 every time, it's too easy. Yes. You know, or 10 out of 10, it's too easy. So it's that stretch level of where you're getting to, do you know what I mean? And she puts it in that way. And I thought, that's really good.
Way. I remember when I was training staff as well, I used to use a similar, but it was like a diagram that had 4 quadrants. It was like too easy, too easy, apathy, too hard, you know, you don't even try. And then there was like this optimal level of opportunity where you were being challenged enough, and it was easy, like the opportunity to succeed was there. So you would actually through the effort, you would actually be inspired and motivated. Intrinsic motivation.
That's right. And then you get that growth. That occurs, that thingy. And so also the way she described it. So if you imagine a circle, right, and that's the middle of your comfort zone, but then you're now pushing up to like 70%, that bit there, kind of thing. And so then that 70% then becomes the middle of your new comfort zone.
Right.
And then it then pushes you, and then you're going to go for the next 70%. So the comfort zone just keeps moving and keeps moving as you keep growing, This is Beata's, Beata, I'm going to give her all credits because she was the one that showed me that. And I was like, Yes,
And it's
that's the
not just
one.
for us as well. I'm looking at it going,
Exactly.
the normal journey. And like some days,
Right.
oh my God. And now you're like,
Right.
you know what? Just another 70%. All right, chunk it down.
Yeah.
Next little bit.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. That's exactly that. It's exactly that for us. It's exactly that for them. You know, so for me, it's for this is me pushing, having to go online, having to show up in this way. This is all outside of my comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? I'm used to talking and delivering my magic within a classroom or within a lecture theatre or within a a space with the people in front of you. But then now, having to come on camera, having things recorded, having to create content, having to do all of this stuff to get the message out there and transform. This is all new to me and pushing me outside of that comfort zone. But soon it will become the middle of my comfort zone, and I will be moving to the next, and as we do that, and each time I'm transforming that generation with me. Each time, we're sowing those seeds and transforming, and we're all on. Yeah, that's right. And we're all on that path. So I might be 1 or 2 steps in front of somebody that I'm bringing along, and we're all doing, and we're all just moving in this magnificent. Anytime I think about what the sorry, you get me going.
No, it's fine. Go on.
But anytime I think about what the possible outcomes of this would be, do you know what I mean? Of to have these empowered parents and children just commanding what it is that they want to create, living the life of their dreams and desires, whatever it is. And remember, it would be at all different levels throughout. So from the highest ends to the simplest, what we would call simplest, people affect change in so many different levels and at so many different vibrations. Can you just imagine what this world would be like if this generation, our generation now, the generation coming up, and we've got the generation coming up and they've also got children. So you know what I mean? So if we had those next generations all just stepping into their magnificence, do you know what I mean? Stepping into their true self, aligned with what it is that they were here to be, because everyone has their unique purpose. Oh my God,
it's happening.
Oh my God, did you know what I mean? I just go, damn, that's amazing. That is amazing, and it just fills me with joy.
See, that's the thing, it's limitless possibility. Like this is it. We are here to make that change and to inspire others to take that route as well. Even though we've just been on a super positive trajectory and journey and vision for the future, I do have a serious question. The question goes back to praise. Is there a wrong kind of praise? Is there a wrong kind of praise?
I would say it depends on the person's intention with that praise. I think everything good can be manipulated into something bad in that sense as well. So, some people will praise to manipulate a child to do and act in a certain way, and do you know what I mean? And that actually takes away from their child's power. That means they are working towards being validated by this person all the time, and that disempowers them, which is why I was saying not the well done praises and that kind of thing. It's not that, it's the processes, it's the steps, it's the thinking that they did to get there. We don't want to raise our children to feel the need to be validated by whether it's us as parents or whether it's teachers or anything. We don't want them seeking that their life journey is seeking praise from outside of themselves. That's not what it's about. So Yeah, there is a wrong
Recognition for their
prize.
greatness, but
Recognition,
not
but not praise as in good girl, good boy, good man, good woman. Do you know what I mean? Pat on the head. That, do you know what I mean? No, recognition for your ingenuity, recognition for your creativity, recognition for the processes that you use to get there, recognition that you understood that this wasn't able to work, but you came at it this way and you did this thing. Recognition for the growth that you've done, recognition for you stepping into your magnificent. That's the kind of praise we're talking about. That's the kind of like, say, yeah, you did that. This is all on you. It's about you. It's your worth. It's not what I'm saying, whether I acknowledge it or not. It's not about that. It's your worth. You did that. Know yourself. Know how good you were. That's the praise that I'm giving you. Not what I'm saying, oh, you've made me feel so happy. And so, no, it's not about me. It's about you. Yeah. So when the praise is given in that way and stuff, that's what I'm talking about. It's about you. So we want them to be strong and secure in themselves.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, is there anything, how can people get in touch with you? How can people come and work with you? What do you want people to know before we wrap up?
Okay, so I'm mostly working in Facebook, within Facebook, so that's where you can connect with me, both on my profile, just straight as Melanie Hibbert. Also in there, you will see the links to join the Facebook group, which is Parenting the Genius Within. So that's a private Facebook group where we can come together, connect and talk about, share our thoughts and sowing those seeds and stuff. I will also have a coaching program in the sense of where we come on and dive deeper into your specific, what's going on for you and your specific child, laying those seeds, sowing the seeds with you and within your child. So making that more precise to you. So there is that kind of coaching program that goes in there, but first and foremost is come and join the Facebook group, because that's where all of interactions and further information will be given and further ways of working with me. So we're just getting the conversation going. We're just starting that sowing those seeds and things, and what we want to do is nurture that garden together, be able to build that together. So that's where the community is happening within the Facebook group there, and then all the opportunities to work with me will be through that Facebook group. You'll find all the information in there.
And today, is it Tuesday? I thought you've got Tuesday thoughts or Tuesday thinking. What time would that
Yes, I've got that's coming up. So that would be 7 p.m. UK time. Yeah, but it'd be 1 p.m. my time. So I'm trying a room in the Facebook group. So using the Facebook rooms, it's the first time I'm using this technology. So you know what technology is like, So I said, bear with me. We're going to try this out because we're in this room. We're in Facebook. Let's see if we can connect within this room and have some face-to-face conversations, rather than texting and posting in that kind of thing. And they're great, but I want to be able to talk to you how we're talking now. I want to be able to connect real time and stuff and around the world. And so I'm hoping that this Facebook is changing up the functionalities of it and stuff. And so they've incorporated what looks like this type of Zoom room within the Facebook rooms. I think it's Messenger and that kind of stuff. And because we're already in there, it's like, okay, let's see how this works. So it's the first time creating this room and attempting to use it. So hopefully technology will allow us to just get together and talk.
Intention, it's going to work amazingly.
It's going to amazing, yeah. And people are going to come and join and just feel free to share their thoughts. And do you know what I mean? That would be lovely. And start the process,
And just before we go, what skills? I saw a post in your page or group, and it was talking about the skills that we need to instill in our children. What could you clarify for us and the group and the teachers and the parents? What 5 skills or 3 skills do you think are really core that we should be thinking? And if they were to go away from this talk today and go and research something, what would you say to them? What skills?
All right. So the first skill is belief in oneself and one's ability. Yeah. So that's the first skill. Okay. That one really needs to have that inner belief. The second skill is focus, to be able to focus on what it is that they want to do, want to achieve, or whatever the task is in that moment, to be able to focus. And the third skill is persistence. to keep going, to keep trying. So it's that persistence with resilience. You know, these are like umbrella skills because they have all these little bits within it. Do you see what I mean? So because with persistence comes the resilience, you know, not giving up on that first failure, finding another way, being solution orientated, trying to find a way to overcome. That's what persistence is. Do you see what I mean? And so it has all of these other little things within it that builds, that makes persistence. Do you see what I mean? Focus again has all of these other little things, the ability to be able to channel in, to really visualize, to bring about, to bring into your thought what it is that you want to create. And when you visualize it, you're able to focus on it even further and take the actions required. So focus has all of these other little steps within there that builds it. Self-belief, again, you know, has all of those things. We have to have that belief within ourselves, but that confidence, you know, that ability to speak one's mind and all of the things. So it has all of these big seeds, you know, self-belief, focus and persistence has all of these tiny little leaves within there that all need to work together to bring about. But those are the, I would say, are the first three, or the biggest three foundational skills: self-belief, focus and persistence.
Amazing. Oh my God, we're so blessed. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're wrapping up. I know I keep saying we're wrapping up. Is there anything else to say? Do you know what? I wish I haven't mastered, like, because what happens is if I was looking at it on Facebook, it would be delayed. So I go off Facebook and I come to Zoom. But let's see if anybody, I don't know if anybody was there or, see, no, I've just done something. Hang on. Oh, okay.
And you see, I'm not so great at this, like I said, this social media marketing and so forth. So what I should have done is, as we started, I should have shared it on my page and think, come and join us and all of that kind of stuff. And I've seen other people when they do that, that's what they do. Like, I'm just like, I need to get that skill down. Do you know what I mean? So this is a whole new learning curve, and this is what I was saying about pushing out of your comfort zone and things. You know what I mean? These are the skills.
Yeah, but we did have Akita, our first guest on, and she was loving what we were saying. And there's somebody else that was checking.
Yeah, there's like, look, there's 5 comments. Oh, let me try and mute it. Oh, look, see, look, I'm repeating. Okay. And there's somebody else. Yeah. See, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at it. So I will, once we're finished, I will go in and we're learning, exactly. So I will see how I can share it as well. And, you know, because it's been a great conversation.
Yeah, fantastic. And many more. We'll have many more to come.
Most definitely. Definitely.
I'm going to just stop recording. So thank you, everybody that tuned in today. Go and check out Melanie's page, tell a friend to tell a friend, and let's change the world. Let's reframe what's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's reframe what's possible. I love that.
Thank you. Stop the live script. Stop the recording.